Hello, here's Roman, Product Manager at PacketFabric. In this video, we're going to see the 5 must-known features to make the most of your Terraform experience. First one, secure your Terraform configuration with environment variable. Using environment variables to set sensitive information such as access key or secret key can be a more secure way to manage your Terraform configuration. So here in the example, I'm using the Terraform PacketFabric provider, and we're going to set a few variables, a PF token and the PF account ID. Here, those are dummy values, and I'm using the env command line in order to see those variables are correctly set in your terminal. Switching to the documentation here, we have a section explaining this. Either you have Linux, Mac, or Windows, you can do it either way. And finally here, if you use Terraform in the context of CI/CD pipeline, under settings here, I'm on GitHub, and action, you can set those variables as well, so they're not part of your configuration files. Next, tearing down and recreating resources. So when it's not possible to update a parameter in place, Terraform allows you to easily tear down and recreate the affected resources. So here I'm in VS Code where I define my CloudWater here in PacketFabric, and what I'm doing here on the right, I'm just doing a Terraform apply to create the CloudWater resource called demo CR1. So here what we're going to do back in Visual Studio Code, I'm going to update the name. So I'm just going to append the name updated. And we'll run again the Terraform apply on the terminal. And here what Terraform will tell you is going to update the name in place. So it's doing a in place update. So we're going to go ahead and say yes and flip back to the PacketFabric portal and see the name change. All right, now let me show you the other type of update. So here we change the ASN number. So bear in mind, not all the parameters can be updated in place. ASN is one of the attributes which cannot be updated in place. So we can see here when we run a Terraform apply, Terraform actually tells me this parameter needs a replacement. So it needs to replace the resource. So here when we say yes, we can see the automation of the deletion first step and then creation second step. And you can see here it just gave me a new ID, obviously, because it's a new resource. And now back on the PacketFabric portal, we can see here the CloudWater has been recreated with a new ASN number. Now let's talk about dependency management with Terraform. Terraform is known for its ability to handle dependencies between resources in a very effective way. So by using different Terraform providers, you can manage resources across multiple platforms, and Terraform will automatically handle the dependencies between those resources. And here on the screen, I show you 2 different types of dependencies, implicit, explicit. We're going to see that in the example. All right, first, implicit dependency, we have this CloudWater one we have used in the previous examples. And then here we have defined this other resource, CloudWater connection. And here's an example of dependencies, implicit dependencies, where we specify the circuit ID of the CloudWater one into the circuit ID parameter in that resource. And here's an example of an explicit dependencies using the depend on, where Terraform will make sure that the CloudWater connection is created before the confirmation of the direct connect in AWS. And we also have included a 1-minute delay between the two. So let's go ahead and see that in action. So let's run the Terraform apply, and then we can see here the first step is to create the CloudWater connection here, and then we get into the 1-minute delay in order to wait for the connection to appear in AWS. Here the connection is showing first in PacketFabric, and then we can see it's in ordering state in AWS. Let's go back to the output here, and we can see once the wait has been done, we are waiting the connection in AWS, and then eventually confirming the connection in AWS. So you can see here we really went, one step after the other in order to execute this workflow. Let's now talk about the Terraform state file. The Terraform state file can be a valuable source of information when you need to understand the current state of your infrastructure. By using the Terraform state file, you can quickly and easily view details about the resources that Terraform is managing without having to navigate through a web UI. So here on the screen, I'm showing you my VS Code. On the left side, I've got a Terraform state file open. It's just a JSON file. And on the right side, I've got my console where I run the Terraform show command showing you the content of the Terraform state file. So you can easily search, store that state file somewhere else, like for example in a GitHub, and managing from there. Now let's talk about the last must-known feature, Terraform import. Terraform allows you to bring existing resources into Terraform management, which can be very useful when you have existing infrastructures that you want to manage with Terraform. So here in our documentation, we explain how to use the Terraform import along with the PacketFabric provider. But let's go ahead and see a demo. So here I'm on the PacketFabric portal and we have an existing cloud router, demo CR2, and here we have it defined in our Terraform resource as CR2, right? First of all, let's just do a Terraform apply, and you can see here Terraform is trying to recreate that resource, but it already exists, right? So we're just going to go ahead and say no, and then we're going to go and import the resource. So in order to import the resource, we use Terraform import, and then we use the name of the resource, CR2, so PacketFabric Cloud Router CR2, and then we use the ID at the end, the circuit ID in our case, and hit enter. So you can see the successful message, the resource has been imported. And then finally, to make sure things are all right, you can just run the Terraform apply again. And now what we should see, actually no changes, right? Because we just imported the resource into the Terraform state file. So just to show you the real benefit, once I've done that, I can go ahead and update anything in my Terraform config. Here I update the name, I run the Terraform apply, say yes, and now I just updated that existing cloud router I had before bringing it into management, and now it's being updated into my PacketFabric portal. Thank you for watching, and do not hesitate to reach out if you have any questions.